everyone, it's your boy Freak. It's been a while since I made one of these, but a lot of people have been asking me stream on Discord in-game. So I decided to take a little bit of time off and get this done. So this guide is for the people that have been asking for it. In the guide itself, I'll try to cover. I'll try to keep it short because I don't want it to be too long either. So I'll try and keep straightforward to basically cover some single target stuff, some AoE stuff, a little bit of M+ stuff that you probably need to prioritize when playing M+. I'm gonna talk about basically gear. I'll talk about stats, what we need to focus on, embellishments, because that's, it's not a hot topic, but I have my own concept, maybe I should say, or idea compared to every other warlock I'm pretty sure right now. So we'll see where that ends up. I may be in the the wrong camp with that one, but we'll see eventually later on to the season. Yeah, without further ado, I'll just dive right into it. So straight into single target stuff. Okay, now single target. Let's start over with the talents, and I'm gonna cover the gear kind of right after, because okay, let's just do the gear actually, because maybe it's easier and it covers both at the same time. So gear, obviously you need 4 set, yeah. The demon that spawns on Doombrand, it's very powerful. I'm not gonna cover how the basics of it, but you're applying basically a Doomguard or Doombrand to a mob like this, yeah, and every time you kind of go down this mob, or another mob somewhere, like it cannot be too far, but it still has like a range, but it's gonna CDR basically the duration of the Doombrand, and once it expires or it's removed or the mob dies, it's gonna do damage, and it has a chance to spawn a Doomfiend, which does a little bit of damage. It's over here in this overall, it's 6, 7, it's about it. And the combination is like between 15 to 20% anarchy, but it depends, right? It's gonna vary. This way it is. Now, the gear that we need to acquire and focus on the stats, it's crit, versa, mastery haste seem to be equal in that regard. There's some other things, but I'll just say similar characters because I'm almost positive that everything I do is giving me different results. Yeah, so enchants all over the place, like literally changing them every day. So just sim your character before any content you do. Yeah, it's gonna help you guys. Weapon enchant and the weapons. Now, ideally, you guys want Naimyu, weapon and trinket, and Beorus or Beorus, bro. The trinket for Tindra. Yeah, that's doing AoE damage. So these are the 2 best trinkets you're gonna get. I got this recently, I didn't have it until now, but this one is a good trinket to play. I've been playing this for quite a bit, and I think in M+, this still has potential. I'll explain why when we get to the AoE part, but the trinket should not be overlooked, I would say, because there's some shenanigans you can do with it. Say, this trinket, mirror, good in raiding, I would say. Outside of raiding, I personally not a fan. I did not like it because it desyncs way too many things. It makes it like, even for like, I'm not obviously like the biggest expert or with the longest playing time of demo, but for keys specifically, it makes syncing and lining up your damage for important packs or mobs or priority targets that you need to keep in a pack very complicated. I'm losing my mind. Yeah, so if you have nothing else, play it in keys, but then it's like, I don't know, it's full fiesta. I would not recommend it personally, and I'm not enjoying it. Plus, but yeah, that's as far as the gear goes. Now, embellishments. I believe what's called Azurweave is better for AoE especially, but I would also agree it's pretty decent in single target. I made it at the time that when I made it, it was better seeming for me on single target. Right now, Shadow Flame is seeming the same. Lariat is a potential winner if we're talking specifically raid with either the versatility wrist or with just another embellishment like shadow patch on one of the low budget slots. So Lariat, Shadow Flame, or wrist. That's if you only want to do raid. But I would say the last two bosses, which are the hardest, are kind of AoE. There is quite a bit of AoE, and I think Azuri, for me at least, as I said, I don't have enough sockets, and I did similar it with full sockets. It wasn't that much better on single target either. So I will stand by for now at least that Azuri is better for, in my opinion at least, and I'll explain the concept why I think it's better. Maybe I'll do it right now, I suppose. Now, the demons and the Doomfiend and whatever the Doom brands, they scale from stats, be it intellect, crit, and verse. Yeah. Now, let's talk Shadow Flame patch. Yeah, I'll go over here. It's fine. The way you currently your gameplay is basically you target mobs, apply brand, and your goal is to always try and snipe a low HP mob, and there are many of those in Oven Plus right now. For it, not the same case, but might still be applicable in certain situations. But like to make it easier, yeah, like Shadow Flame is still very good. It's a good combination of embellishments to have for pure single target. Yeah, so if you guys just want to keep it simple, just go ahead. But my concept and way of thinking for the current tier set and the embellishments is that the Shadow Flame, you need to target the bomb to apply it, right? And it's going to do damage to that mob with the Shadow Flame. But the fact that you're targeting a low HP irrelevant mob makes it so that the embellishment loses value, at least for me. I personally think it's worse, because I always try and snipe the mobs that are low HP, right? To try and spawn my 4-piece, and because the Doom brand will explode. Now, just because of that, and because the flat intellect buff is, I mean, it's lower uptime since we lost some haste and stuff, but it's still very high. It's like almost 50%, yeah? And it's, I don't remember how it was like 700, 800, I think. That's a lot of intellect to have on top of what you already have. And if the explosion spawns a demon, then that demon is also, you know, like all of your abilities are still doing more damage, basically. If the embellishment procs, right? And the demon and the Doombrand and all that shit. So that's my theory. I stand by it, and I'm a fan of Azure with TBH. Now, this took way too long. Let's get into single target stuff. Now, these are the talents that we will be playing. This build will not vary in single target at all. The flex points that you could take somewhere else if you have like a little bit of cliff, for example, on, I don't know, like Igira, Cancel Warodar is basically like, I'll just click on it to show you guys. The only point that you can flex is Shellbite, kind of, and take this, yeah? This is pure single target, this is when you have some cleave. Other things that you could do, I don't know if it was this, was it? When you have a little more AoE, but obviously Gear is not a good example. Maybe Hirakis like that. You can take Malefic Impact, or you can just obviously take Fell Sunder as well. So Imperator, or whatever Imperator, is for more when you want to do more single target, but there is still AoE, right? So in that regard, it's going to change quite a bit, yeah? But this is the general. If there is a little more AoE, I'll take this. If there is pure single target, but I still want to do, like, there's some mobs that need to die every 40 seconds or so, I'll just swap this point and put it here. So that's pretty much for the talents, but these talents will not change. That's your single target from now until tuning or anything like that. So, rotation, very quickly. The idea hasn't changed. The core of demo is still the same, although I'm not gonna talk about all of these talents, how did they get changed, why they got changed, why they broke interactions. I'll just show you the gameplay, yeah? The idea is that you want to go to 5 shards, and very importantly, I did not mention, but Soul Strike is a big part of the rotation. Now, that one, you have two choices. You can either keep it automatic, or you can have it as an active button. I used to have it as an active button, but they made it so that the pet is pressing it really quickly, yeah? So I feel like it's faster to let the pet do it. It's gonna happen sometimes that you overcap by a shard, because you just, you know, we're running very low haste, because, yeah, haste is not very good for us this season. And sometimes I would overcap by, you know, one shard, but it is what it is. I think it's better because it allows you to just do other stuff, and you don't have to press the extra button to make the pet Soul Strike, yeah? And it's easier to just kind of game it sometimes, yeah? The basics, go to 5 shards, Grimoire, back to 5, Dogs, back to 5, can't, if you have procs, you just, yeah, and then you just run, run the delve at 10 imps. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and show the gameplay now. I don't have my thingy, but it's fine. Now, usually I could like delay a little bit if I have, and you see it's gonna, I mean, it didn't proc, but it's fine. That's the basic rotation. And you pop all the trinkets. I have my trinket here, and yeah, you just go ahead and pop everything here. That's pretty much it. You don't implode single target, and you just keep going like this. So that's the basics, and here's the big boy, the Doom. Now, let's go over to AoE. Talk some talents here, because AoE you have a little bit of choice at least, and I'm also in the camp of having my own opinion about M+. Comes to some of the talent choices that I have. Now, this season, and over the course of Dragonflight, it's been the case that they're trying to tie more and more damage to our main pet. As you can see, I don't remember if that's a dungeon where it did. I think I played it, yeah. So they're tying way too much damage to our main pet, yeah. So I find that, I mean, the Sims also support, I'm going to show you the Sims right now, but you guys can check it for yourself, that cavitation, this point specifically, gains a lot of value. And the point is, since we're stacking crit already, makes the pet crit, the pet critical strikes do more damage. And this is like, we have a few points like that, yeah, in the talent tree. So this point also works on absolutely everything your pet does, like without exception. The only exception is the soul cleave, but this is also based off how much damage the main soul strike is going to do, and then it's going to cleave, right? So still connected. As you can see, the crits on all of my abilities are like on average, yeah, it's about 50. I mean, a little bit less than 50, but you get my point, yeah. This one is over 50. So I would stand by that. This point, I feel like overall, I have found that it's early in the season. Obviously, it can change, but the consistency of it is the highest. Now, that's not the only build you can play in M+. There are multiple variations, and all of them are equally good, yeah. But I would say there are conditions for the others to be good, and there is always something that you lose in the other variations. So, one of them, namely, this is the most popular. Everybody's playing it. Even sometimes I play it because I just want to, continue trying and testing. And I think this build is very solid and seems like almost identical to cavitation. There is no virtual difference. Like sometimes this would seem about like 0.2, 0.1 higher, because I believe it has better consistency than this talent, and I'll explain why. Now, with this talent, you don't necessarily need it, but if you have a weak aura, which, I mean, I don't always look at it, but it's here for viewers usually, this weak aura, or what is it? Come. Let's try and spawn, the special imp. I'll link that one in the description below as well. I think it's a variation of Raki's weak aura. Okay, so this is your imp gang boss, and when you implode now, this is the condition, the implosion will do more damage, and this is very good. In AoE especially, it's incredibly good, but this also forces you, as you may anticipate what I'm going to say, to either implode earlier, or like you have to do it, right? You have to be aware of that this imp is out, and you need to utilize it, because otherwise it's just lost, right? I mean, it's obviously doing its more single target damage to the target. That's fine. It may be, situationally good in certain scenarios. However, I still feel like this would take your attention away from maybe other important things that are happening in the key, which this talent does not. Now, in single target, also they seem identical, both AoE and single target at these points, yeah. Now, the third talent that's also very good, and I would say it's very good in AoE situations and on maybe a little bit better on fortified tweaks, is Shadow Invocation, which basically just an AoE proc, yeah. Like you do your rotation, doesn't matter, you don't have to think about it at all, and it pops, yeah, and it just spawns the bombers and they do them. I would say this talent, I absolutely love how much damage it's doing in case. I think about 5% of overalls. I haven't played it recently. I played it last week a lot. But I'll say this. This talent is absolute hot garbanzo on single target. It's just doing 0.1% of my overall on single target, yeah? So, quite unfortunate. If the talent was better, I would play it, but that's where it stands, yeah? So, I don't know what to say, guys. I would say that 1 point, you can put it everywhere, and on AoE, Fortified Tweak, you're gonna get very similar results, but as I just explained, the point itself, I would say, has, with all three scenarios, besides this one, asterisks to it, yeah? Or certain conditions that must be met, and I would stand by the opinion that the most consistent option that doesn't, like, vary your damage too much, and what's beneficial to cavitation as well, is that talent point is the one that's also tying to your basic rotation the most, and the burst damage that allows you to do is also high, because your highest burst damage button right now is demonic strength, yeah? And this one is also amplified, and it's every 1 minute, and you know that this damage will always be there, yeah? Every time you press this button, it will do damage, and it will do more damage. Similar with your axe as well, yeah? Every time when it's off cooldown, you send it. Obviously, you wait for Tyrant if it's about to be ready, but you get my idea, right? So that's my concept and way of thinking about both the... Obviously, that's another thing that Azure Wave comes into play. That these talents and that talent point, they just sync together, in my opinion. Yeah, that's how I think about it. Maybe there are other opinions. I would love to, discuss them in the comments or on stream, which, I mean, I'm streaming a little bit more, so it's easier to discuss those things there. But I'm sure other people will come up with other things over the course of the season, but this is what I'm doing right now. And these are the talent points that I'm playing. So basically, that's what I've felt is the most consistent throughput build. Now, to the actual gameplay and what you gotta do in AoE. It doesn't change much from single target, unfortunately, but you do have to be aware of bugs, yeah? Now, let's take this dungeon for an example. You have so many smallies, yeah? In dungeons like this, there's just always mobs that you can hit. I don't know where the spider start, but I think it's up to here. It's here. So basically, this area is also filled with spiders. And it's so weird that you need to hit the imp or like the smallies before. I mean, you can still hit. I'm always hitting a big guy just so my pet sits on it and does damage to it, right? Passively. But you'd have to swap target, yeah? This one takes a little bit of practice. It might be annoying. I find it annoying, and I don't think it's good gameplay design direction they're taking with it. And I hope it changes with the next year set. But for now, it is what it is, right? So ideally, you want to target a small mob that's gonna die faster and explode. And I don't have a specific number of how many Doom Brands you should apply. I think is there maybe it's a two school of thoughts, yeah? You could try to put as many as possible, which I'm sort of doing. But this is also not ideal because you make your pet hit different targets. So a priority mob might lose damage. That's one thing. The other thing is, if you have less of those, but you maintain it on the target that you want to hit, and you keep, kind of go downing, it's going to sit there and it's going to explode. And that's also viable. Like both of these, I'm not sure which one is the best yet, but what I'm doing is I apply as many as I can, and I try not to go over like 4 or 5 usually, because it gets hectic target swapping so many times, but like 3, 4, I feel like it's probably the ideal situation where it's easy to maintain, it's easy to hit your targets, you just keep going. But yes, always try to apply the brand to a new mob if a mob comes or so, I don't know. But irritation, similar to what you're doing with single target. You go in, you send the pet, go in, you pick guard, dogs, 5, apply to the other mob, and now if you don't get a proc, you double. See this one? That's the one I wanted to show you in the previous dummy. Now it procced well, and it's 30 minutes. Okay, I don't know the trinket, but you activate, yeah? And after the... what's called? The Fellstorm, you throw the axe, and okay, I imploded too early, but basically you'd oftentimes in keys right now, you'd have to implode mid-tyrant. And it's a little, sometimes it's feely. If you use the weak aura, you could watch it. As I said, I'm not always watching it. I kind of go by feel. I had a lot of procs on this one, but I am imploding sometimes in the middle of my tyrant because I know that part of my demons are expiring, especially if I have a lot of instant hands. Like you see how many imps you can build, yeah, like it just keeps going, yeah. And that's the point where I would implode. Obviously I need to have the dog's debuff, but that's where I'm going to implode, yeah. And then you just keep going, that's it. And now this is off cooldown, you send it, you sack your imps and you keep going, yeah. This one I didn't catch on time, but you see, and you just keep doing that. Now this one is off cooldown, I send it. This one is going to expire now. I apply no brand and I implode before they expire, basically, yeah. Exactly how many imps you implode, because that's how people approach it. It's not an exact science, unfortunately. It used to be 9 to 12, or if it's a small rotation, you have 0 procs, it was 6. Right now, because of Pactive the Imp Mother, because of Spiteful Reconstitution, you get random imps into the rotation that they spawn without like your input, right? They just spawn. So you cannot either use the weak aura or feel it, sort of, because I know that every 3 hands or so I need to implode, right? That's a general like rule of thumb that you could probably use, but depending on haste, depending of, you know, like how many procs you're gonna get, depending if your dogs rechomp or they don't rechomp, you might have to send it earlier. Sometimes you have to hold it a little bit. It's a little bit, you know, sometimes you're just gonna have to practice it and get better at it, more or less. I think that's most of the things that I want to say, and what I, you know, left for the last one is the trinket, which it's not popular, and it's been pretty sure just me doing it. Maybe there are other people that I obviously don't know about, but in keys, because I do not like how this feels, the interaction, right? 90 seconds into 2 minutes, and I didn't have the Naimi trinket, so I was using this in keys, in most of my keys. I was sending my tyrant without holding for the Grimoire, but with Naimi, you should wait for 2 minutes. And in general, if you have, you know, trinkets like this, it's better that you sync your Grimoire plus your tyrant health. I am pretty sure in AoE specifically, and if it's a difficult pact, you should send it. I think I have found success so far, at least early in the season, that when my tyrant is ready, especially with branch, obviously there is a small this thing that happens when you do that and you press on cooldown, your demonic strength will not be ready for that window. But you could delay it a little bit and then it will be ready and you catch a little bit of the trinket, yeah? So again, some of these things are still present with Demo and they're very annoying to, you know, play around. But, you know, the safest way and the simplest way to go is just hold for 2 minutes, send with trinket and everything lines up again, right? So, but if you have the branch and that's your base trinket and you're playing keys and you have annoying DHs in your group, rip it and just implode before the imps expire and you're gonna see your numbers go brrr, yeah. So that's pretty much it. It wasn't as short as I would have liked it, but I hope it was useful to you guys. So enjoy the guide, enjoy the keys, enjoy the season, and I hope to see you around, yeah, on stream, in the videos, on Discord, yeah, in the world, whatever it may be. So enjoy it and I'll see you. I do not promise I'll be making many YouTube videos, but if I have the time, I'll try. Yeah, I'll upload some of my runs, let's say. So yeah, I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Enjoy and have a good day.